I'm Steph G with Yoga with Lyme. Thank you for joining me today as our focus for our Yin Yoga will be our hip flexors. We will be doing other things as well, but the focus will be on the hip flexors. If you've never done Yin Yoga before, I will tell you that it is the yoga of the joints. It is more passive. We're not pulling or pushing or stressing our body in that way. We're allowing gravity to pull us into the pose. Our affirmation today is going to be, I listen to my body and run smart. And I welcome you to have your own affirmation, but you can share with mine. And hopefully we'll have our good loosen up our bodies. Our bodies should be cold right now, but loosen up those bodies and have an amazing run with the same affirmation. Always listening to our body. So this is the best advice that I could ever give anyone, is to really be in tune with your body. And so as you do this session, please listen to your body. Know what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, where you're feeling it. So the first principle is going to be to find your edge. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being that you feel absolutely nothing, and 10 being that it is extreme, uncomfortable, that you're shooting for that Instagram photo, I would like for you to find that 4 or 5. So back it off and be that 4 or 5. And as gravity takes over and you start to loosen up and sink deep into those joints and tendons and fascia, then you can give a little bit more to say about the 4 or the 5. The second principle is to be still. So yoga is going to give us that time, which is going to be different from your hatha or your ashtanga, or your vinyasa flows. That we're going to actually hold that pose for a while. That's going to give you a lot of time with yourself, a lot of time for you to feel that pose. So Yin Yoga can be held anywhere from 1 to 10 minutes. And so the third principle is to hold the pose, which is going to be today for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So I invite you to get some props, because Yin Yoga is also about bringing the floor to you and making this comfortable. It is not about the ego and how far you can stretch. This is going to be listening to your body today. So I know that one of the stretches would be beneficial if you had a strap or a bathrobe, belt, or something that you could hold onto behind you, as well as blocks, a blanket for Shavasana. Sometimes I recommend that. I get cold, I need a blanket. So while you go and get those props or pillows and whatever you have, books, then press pause, and when you get those things, come back and join me. So we were going to begin focusing on our breath. You may get a block or pillow, whatever that you are comfortable with. And I place under my hips just to elevate me just a little bit more. Find that comfy spot. I want our backs to be lengthened. So kind of think of a line maybe drawn from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Just a little bit of a tilt to your chin. Begin to focus on your breath. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Now, I don't want to control your rhythm, so find that natural breath. In yoga, we breathe in and out of our nose. As you're focusing on that breath, pay attention to the length of the inhale and the length of your exhale. One of the ways you can do this is by counting. So maybe you'll notice that you have a count of 3 or 4 on the inhale, and try to match that to your exhale. Maybe your count is 5, depends on how your breath work is. Place one hand on your chest and another on your navel. On your next inhale, notice if your belly and chest are rising. And on the exhale, your belly and chest should fall. So my belly will rise, my chest will follow, and my chest will fall as well as the belly as the diaphragm moves through the body with the breath. When you're able to do that deep belly breath, and you can feel it. You can take your hands to your lap and feel that breath work. I listen to my body and run smart. One more breath and do a complete cycle of your inhale and your exhale. If your hips are elevated, you are welcome to leave them that way. I will be leaving mine that way. Bring the soles of your feet touching and have them out, I would say a good 12 to 18 inches. And this time you can grab your blocks if you would like. So if you're feeling a lot of tension, you're really tight, one of the things that you can do is to place the blocks underneath your legs to bring them up, so that would feel better. And if this is the stretch that you need, then just stay here, allowing your legs and your hip flexors to open. I invite you to start bending down, bringing your forehead down. Now I am going to remove the blocks. So if your blocks are not needed underneath your legs, maybe you're needing them here. And you come forward and you feel that 4. So you can have a block, placing it right on your foot and put your forehead on top of it. To avoid pressing in with your hands, lay your hands on the ground, palms up, or even on your legs, palms up. Get comfortable in this pose. Finding your 4, knowing that as gravity pulls you down, you are welcome to change the block height, to go without a block. Find that belly breath.
are not able to breathe in the same way as we were doing in the beginning, then you need to back out of this pose. If the block is not high enough and you need it a little bit more, you can always stack blocks, just like Legos. Find that edge. Notice if you're holding any tension, if you're squeezing your glutes, if you're squeezing your knees, just release. Breathe deep into your hip flexors. Breathing in and out of your nose. I listen to my body and run smart. And I do apologize. That's my Isabella, and she is ready to go. So, I promise she's just fine. There will be moments where I'm not talking. Just allow you to feel your body, to be aware of what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. And remember to keep that 4 or 5. I listen to my body and run smart. Begin to walk your hands in, slowly lifting yourself up. Extending your right leg, not straight in front of you, have it out a bit. Bring your left sole of your foot to the inside of your thigh, and now we will stretch down again. Again, you can use a block. We do not want to do anything where we're pulling ourselves or straining ourselves. We're just allowing this stretch to go deep past the muscle into your ligaments. Notice if you're holding any tension. Notice if you have any stress. Just allow your body to be soft. Notice what you're feeling. Breathe into any discomfort. You should not have pain. Any pain means to stop and get out of the pose immediately. to relax and to sink in. Finding your breath. I listen to my body and run smart. Bella, you're okay. Begin to walk your hands up and slowly bring yourself back up into a sitting position. Extend your left leg in the same fashion. Right leg sole of the foot is going to go against your left leg, and you may begin to bend forward and find that pose. Now, I've been using a block, but for some, they may find it better to use a pillow. And just hang out. Find what's comfy and what works for you. Because I did the other side with the block, I'm going to do this side with the block. Just wanted to give another versatile way of doing things. There's no set in stone way to do this. Again, find your breath. Make sure you're able to do that cycle of moving the diaphragm up and down, having a complete belly breath, paying attention to your hips, your glutes, knees, listening to your body, noticing if you have any tension, holding it in. Allow your body to just melt into your mat. Gravity's pulling you down. I listen to my body and run smart. Notice if one side feels different than the other. That is completely normal. Don't forget to breathe. begin to lift yourself up.
Very carefully, maybe placing your legs outstretched in front of you. So I will be turning my back to you to show you, we will be doing archer arms. So begin by taking your right arm up into the air, bending at the elbow, bringing it behind you towards your back. Take your left arm, bend at the elbow, and moving it to your right. Now, if your hands are not accessible to one another, maybe get a strap in the same fashion. And grab a hold. Now, very carefully, we're not pulling, tugging. We're just finding that 4 and holding it. During this pose, notice, are you clenching your legs? I have a tendency to squeeze my thighs. Focus on your breath, your inhale and your exhale. Breathing in. I listen to my body and run smart. Make sure you're not putting tension in your neck. Softly release the grip on the left. Stretch your arm up forward, maybe give it a few shakes. And we will do the same thing on the left. So the left hand will go up in the air, bending down, and the right arm will meet it. Find your breath. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. Noticing any stress that you're holding in your body, just breathe into it. I listen to my body and run smart. Three more breaths. Slowly begin to release with your right arm and extend that left up. Take our hands to just a couple of wrist circles. Mommy is back from deployment and Bella doesn't want to miss any time with me. So we'll come onto all fours. Knees are under your hips. Bring your big toes to touching and widen the base of your knees so that you're making a V. Begin to push yourself back into your heels so that your hips are on top of your ankles. Now, you have some space back there. Fill that space. Bring the floor to you. So you may place a bolster underneath your thighs to help for a pillow. Chest is going to go to the ground. So we're not walking our body forward by any means. We're pushed back, sinking into our hips. The further you have your V, so the wider that you V, is going to be the wider that you're pressing into those hips. So find that space and forehead is going to go to the ground. To keep the pressure off of our shoulders, extend your elbows out towards the edges of your mat. You may take as well and have a pillow, placing that under your body if you would like. Bringing the floor to you, feeling that space. Sometimes that's more comfortable for the girls. Another option is to have a pillow or a block and to place that underneath your head. And once you find that 4 or the 5 that you are searching for, begin to be still. Hold that pose. If your body wants to wiggle or to adjust, search that area and find out why. As long as there's no pain, there's no need to move. Spend time with yourself, listening to your body, finding that inhale and exhale in your nose. Noticing any muscles that are clenching, maybe in your jaw. Just relax. Relax your shoulders as well. I listen to my body and run smart. Begin to lift your chest up. Bring your elbows underneath you. Come back up to all fours, moving any props that you have to the side, but keeping them close by. Begin by taking your left leg and bringing it up to where your left hand is on the inside of where your left hand is, and start there. We can make adjustments as it goes. Want that your ankle and your knee are going to stay so that you're not going over your ankle. So you'll want to have your knee aligned over your ankle. And your right leg is going to be extended behind you. You're still going to be on the knee, however, have it extended under you. If this is far enough for you, that is perfect. You can also take blocks, placing them on each side to lift yourself up. Remember, we're just looking for the 4, and the blocks are one way to help us. They're so versatile. A book is also good. Paying attention and noticing if you've shifted your weight to the right Keep your hips neutral. Think of them as headlights pointing forward. For a deeper stretch in this pose, you can come all the way down, wherever feels the best for you. Hold your pose. Breathing in and out your nose. Sinking into your hip. Notice if you're clenching any muscles. I listen to my body and run smart. Being very cognizant of the weight that you're placing on your hands. Again, to press back. And leaning yourself back, coming into a half split. Again, you can keep the blocks, books, find that level. Notice if you've leaned to the right, get those hips. So you can pull that, flex your foot to pull your toes in or have them forward. Finding your four. Finding your breath. Focusing on that breath. Breathing into your left leg. Relaxing as much as you can. Check if you have your shoulders tightened and just loosen them. Let them glide down away from your ears. I listen to my body and run smart. bend your left knee. We'll take the blocks out back in front of us, bringing your left knee down to the ground. Maybe stretch it out behind you. Placing your left knee down, we'll do the same thing, bringing the right up to the front of the mat and extending your left. Again, using the blocks to whichever way you want to be for. Also, I am going to grab my knee for this side. My knee sometimes causes hurts on my left, so I'm just going to pat it a little more. Remember to keep your ankle and your knee aligned, not pressing in hard. We're allowing the hips to hold us. Finding your breath. Getting the fidgets out. Releasing any tension. Notice if you're tense in your neck, your jaw. Notice if you've started leaning to one side more than the other. Find that pose, find that edge, become still, focusing on our breath, breathing into our legs, our hip flexors, listening to our body, paying attention to what we're feeling, where we're feeling it. I listen to my body and run smart. And to push in to your knee, bending it backwards. We're not really bending our knee back, but pushing back. So we'll come into the half split on your right. Noticing if you're leaning to the right, keep your hips facing forward. Find that nice stretch. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Paying attention to how you feel. How's the right side versus the left? Is there a difference? Why is there a difference? Notice any tension you may still be holding. I listen to my body and run
smart. Begin to bend into your right. Set the props to the side for now. Bringing your hands down to the mat. Taking your right leg back even. I'm going to walk my knees up, cross my ankles, and find myself sitting on my bum. Extend your legs out in front of you, coming onto your back. Soles of the feet onto your mat. Pressing into the soles of your feet. Raise your hips. Grab that block. Grab that book, that rolled up blanket. Pressing, letting your hips lay down on top of whatever you have to support yourself. Float your legs up into the air. This is a mild inversion. You can do this without a block underneath you. Again, find your breath. If you need, you can have a bend in your knees. Focusing on the breath, noticing your breath. Your hands can be down to your side. They can be up over your head. Whatever is the most comfortable for you, just find that edge. Become still and comfortable. I listen to my body and run smart. Allow your legs to come back down to the mat. Press into the soles of your feet, raising your hips up off of your block. Before we go to the next pose, take your legs and just allow them to go side to side. Maybe stretch them out. With the soles of the feet on the mat, take your right leg, raise it up, lift it
over, excuse me, as you work. Press into the soles of your feet, lifting your hips up slightly, shift them to the left. Take the left leg, twist it over the right, and both legs to the right. Your shoulders, your arms, blocks, whatever you need. You can take the blocks and place them underneath the leg. If this is too much of a stretch, untwist your legs and allow them just to be stacked on top of each other. Again, even if that's too much, place a block, bring the floor to you. Find that 4. Pillow works really well as also. For your arms can be a T. I don't feel it as much when I just have my arms in a T. I like to take my arm and have it extended, not straight up, but more at a diagonal, and that's where I start feeling. So having kind of extended to the corners of the room. However, some people feel it more straight over their head. Listen to your body, find the stretch that feels the best for you. Be still in that pose. Focusing on your breath. I listen to my body and run smart. Relax and sink deep into your pose. If you have your legs wrapped, go ahead and unwrap your legs. Bringing yourself back to that neutral, pushing into the soles of your feet. Allow your hips to come back. We'll do the same thing. Push into the soles of your feet, lifting up your hips, taking them to the edge of your mat. Take your right leg over your left. Drop both legs over to the left. Again, if this is too much, take your legs and just stack them. You can use your blocks, pillows, whatever you need to bring the ground to you. So if there's space, we need to fill that space. Now, there will be a little space, of course, if you twist. Keeping that right shoulder on the ground. If you notice that it's popping up, place the ground under it by putting a pillow or something under it. Again, there's no right or wrong way. Your arms can be teed out. You can have the cactus arms. You can have your arms to the corners. Above your head, resting on your belly. Like I said, wherever you're going to get your 4 or your 5, that's where you need to be. Find your breath. Allow gravity to do the work. I listen to my body and run smart. Begin to unwind your legs, coming back to the center. Extend your legs out. If you would like, you can always support your legs, placing a pillow underneath your knees. You can also take a pillow underneath your head. I always get cold, as you know. And so I will cover my body up, making our way into Shavasana. Allow your legs to be slightly open and your feet can fall naturally, whether it's my feet fall out. And if that's natural for you, that's fine. No worries about holding them straight. Just relaxing our muscles. You can take your hands and lift it underneath you. Kind of let your neck fall into your hands and take your hands, use your hands to take your neck back and forth and just kind of place your head so comfortably. Your arms are by your side and your hands with your palms up. You may close your eyes. Begin to do a body scan. Take your breath all the way into your feet. Noticing how your feet feel. Your ankles. And now your calves and your shin. Having your awareness on your breath and your legs, your knees, your thighs. Focusing on your glutes, how you feel, on your hips. Your lower back, your spine, the whole, your shoulders. Breathing in
into each area. Your neck and your head. Notice any tension in your jaw. Notice if you're clenching your jaw and just release. Allow your lower jaw to release from the top. Just have a little space. Pull the tongue off the roof of your mouth. With your eyes still closed, begin to wiggle your toes. Maybe squeeze them and open them. Make your way onto your side. Your forearm can go under your head for support. Knees bent about a 90. Bringing your awareness into your body and how you feel. I listen to my body and run smart. Softly open up your eyes, taking the mat underneath you. Allow your awareness to come back into the room that you're in. You can stay here. When you're ready, begin to push yourself up. Coming up into sitting position. Thank you so much for joining me in this yoga with affirmations for runners. I hope you have a beautiful run. Please like and subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment to let me know what your thoughts are. I appreciate each one of you so much. May you be steady in difficult times and may you always find happiness.